He's a genius. He can do special things with the football.
Ball still in there. Pulisic! Hat-trick!
This one drops in! And forget away!
Golazo! Golazo! Golazo!
And welcome back to the soccer show on SleepyHollowRadio.com. I'm Kevin Aguirre, joined by my co-host Aidan Bowler. And today we've got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Premier League, the talk around Europe, the Champions League, U.S. men's and women's national team in review. And at the end, we'll have a caller segment.
Yes. So let's jump right into the Premier League. An exciting week last week and told us a lot about how no team is in perfect form.
Yeah, it's crazy though. But we'll start with Wolves against Crystal Palace. Wolves were able to get the 3 points at Molineux with goals by Aguirre and Daniel Podence. They had plenty of chances. Both teams actually had plenty of chances, but Palace unfortunately could not execute. There was a red card by Luka Milivojevic, the skipper from Crystal Palace. It was sloppy, but they were already losing.
Definitely an expected result for Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves could definitely make a run at Europa League. They just need to be a lot more consistent and play games like this where they dominate.
Yeah. And Burnley against Chelsea ended in a 3-0 win for the Blues. Edouard Mendy with his 5th clean sheet in a row. This is very impressive, and it's crazy because the only goalkeeper who has this kind of like stat is Petr Cech, and we all know
he's learning from the best.
Yeah, definitely.
And what's like so impressive is it's not just Edouard Mendy that's playing so well. I mean, yes, that clean sheet against Burnley, he was practically sitting down the whole time. This defense has been stepping up with Thiago Silva. He's really gotten this back line to play so much better. And that's improved them so much.
Hakim Ziyech as well found his stride. 2 games, 2 goals. The attacking starting to come alive for Chelsea.
And Ziyech is finally back. Everyone was questioning the signing, and now he's performing at an extremely high level.
Pulisic was actually injured in the warm-ups for this game, but we have to question how he will do or what's going to happen with him and him joining back in the starting 11.
It appeared to be a hamstring injury, which is unfortunate because it's re-aggravated. But Lampard said it was not very serious and that he should be hopefully good for Sheffield United.
I hope it's not that serious. We definitely want to see him play some more. And Burnley, they've been winless this season. I think Nick Pope, definitely he's a talented goalkeeper, but I think we could definitely see him leave Burnley.
Requesting a transfer, especially if Burnley ends up getting relegated at the end of the season.
Yeah, this is a major possibility for Burnley. I mean, I did not expect them to get relegated at all, but they've had a poor start to the season. We all did that. But Sheffield United 0, Manchester City 1. It was an expected result, of course. Man City dominated the match. Sheffield United continued to struggle. It's a typical 1-0 win. Liverpool 2, West Ham 1. Liverpool, they lost the goal by VAR. It was Diogo Jota who got the ball back in the net, so he could have had 2 goals.
And it's crazy how credit to Liverpool to be able to lose a goal to VAR, come right back a few minutes later and score one.
Yeah, this is like turning into like a whole I don't want to sound too biased here, but it sounds like we're against Liverpool, this VAR type rule, because they've had quite a lot of calls now at the start of the season where they were against Liverpool. So we'll see how that continues to go on. But West Ham, they were finding ways to stay with the top teams. They were looking electric in the first half, but unfortunately they flopped in the second half.
Early on, they were getting tons of shots, a lot of pressure. They kind of overwhelmed this new Liverpool defense without Van Dijk.
Yeah, West Ham, you see what they did with Manchester City, with Tottenham. They can do business. I mean, this team,
they can play. They
can't underestimate.
Definitely can make a run. It's just they have to continue to play a full 90-minute game. They can't just come out strong the first half, take a 1-0 lead, and just sit back. They have to be, especially against teams like Liverpool, they have to be attacking the entire time.
Definitely. And with this result, Liverpool are back at the top of the table, right where they belong. But rumors have it that Declan Rice to Chelsea, it's putting all this pressure on him at West Ham. So maybe that could play an important factor with West Ham's performances going on. So
definitely, it could definitely improve their form, hopefully, and Declan Rice can improve as well.
And now we're going to talk about the game of the week. Aston Villa 3, Southampton 4. This was crazy.
Southampton takes a quick 4-0 lead. Who would expect that from a team like Southampton? And Villa tried to claw back. It was unsuccessful,
especially a Villa team who were so sharp at the beginning.
Their attack was so strong early on, and now, Southampton, they're kind of taking over as this underdog team. James Ward-Prowse scored a brace. He's playing probably the best football we've seen.
Yeah, 2 goals and 1 assist. Not to mention those 2 goals came from free kicks, which is incredible. I mean, who would have expected that? I mean, we knew he was a good free kick taker, but that's just crazy.
And now Villa's dropping in the table slowly.
Yeah, the 2
back-to-back losses.
The last one was against Leeds, so we'll see them if they can recover. I doubt it now, but we'll see.
Southampton, now sitting 5th in the table with 13 points.
Yeah, this is looking scary. I mean, Southampton, they're another team that you shouldn't underestimate just because they have so much talent on
their form.
Their
is extremely impressive, and I know Danny Ings now. They just discovered that injury he had, so he could miss potential time, but still, people will fill in.
We could see Southampton even possibly trying to get into the top 7 of the table, which is ridiculous. I mean, we could see Southampton back in the Europa League. I mean,
and it seems like everyone's stepped up because now, it's just reported Southampton striker Danny Ings to miss up to 6 weeks after knee injury.
Oh, wow.
So they'll be curious how their attack forms around that because Ings has been the center of their attack.
Definitely. I agree with that. Next up, Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. This has been Arsenal's first win in 14 years at Old Trafford. This is crazy because it's been 5 years as well since they last won away at a top 6 club. And the goal was scored by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang through a penalty. And let's talk about Thomas Partey's.
Thomas Partey's signing could be considered one of the maybe even the best signing of the summer transfer window.
Definitely.
Partey is coming to that club, and especially today, he had an immediate impact. His presence was felt. He gained possession 11 times and won 10 duels at the midfield. He is winning the midfield battle for Arsenal, and that's making their team so much better.
This is he's been a tank. He's been a tank his whole career, but it's really crazy to now see him in the Premier League, see him with Arsenal, and now he's actually contributing to the squad. It's crazy. I mean, Arsenal could succeed. Maybe another FA Cup.
Let's look at Manchester United. They continue to struggle in the Premier League. Just can't find form.
Yeah, no, I did not expect this start from Manchester United. They currently place 15th, so I guess you consider them in a relegation battle, but this is ridiculous. I mean, 16th, I mean, they do have 1 game less than everybody else, but I think it's still no excuse. They should be having at least 3 wins, but no, they have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 3 losses.
And especially, you should come away with a draw against Arsenal.
Yeah,
at least
definitely.
At home, disappointing for them. We'll see how they bounce back next week.
Yep. Tottenham 2, Brighton 1. Harry Kane was awarded a lucky pen. It was controversial if it was in the box or not. Nonetheless, he does convert it. Gareth Bale, he is back in Tottenham. He's back in the white and blue colors, and he scores his first goal for Tottenham since 2013 with a fiery header to give Tottenham all 3 points and put them at the 3rd position.
Extremely exciting to see Gareth Bale back in the Premier League and finally scoring goals. That was a beautiful header.
Definitely. It gave everyone hype. It gave everyone chills.
Everyone was so happy for him after all his time in Real Madrid, where he kind of just sat on the bench and almost wasted his career away. To be able to come back to a club that he's already played for, a city that already loves him, and score.
Yeah, we knew he wasn't doing pretty well with Real Madrid. We know he had some struggles there. So to come back to Tottenham, this is a big move. I mean, he's now actually enjoying himself, which is good. Good for him. But in terms of Brighton, actually, they've had some defensive errors, defensive struggles with Daniel Veltman and Adam Webster. I mean, Lamptey for Brighton, he's been a sensational.
They're one lone bright
youngster.
spot for them,
Yep.
but He could easily be transferred out of the club.
Yeah, I could definitely see him go to like a club like Chelsea or like Arsenal. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But next up,
The battle of relegation.
Yep.
The relegation teams. Fulham versus West Brom Albion. A 2-0 win for Fulham.
their first win in the Premier League this season. West Brom, however, continue to struggle defensively.
It's exciting for Fulham to get their first win in the Premier League.
Oh, definitely.
And although it's against a team that they played last year, they know how they play. It's exciting to see them finally start making strides in the Premier League.
And that goal from newly signed Ola Aina from Torino for Fulham, that was a rocket. I don't know if you saw it.
It was a rocket. No, it was an amazing goal.
Yeah,
He
definitely.
just struck that, and there was nothing West Brom was going to do about that. And now West Brom's got to fight back.
Yep. Next up, Leeds United against Leicester City. This ended in a 4-1 win to the Foxes.
This is extremely unexpected.
Yeah, even though it was an even match, both teams, they've had their share of possession, their share of shots. Leicester did, however, take more advantage to score. Harvey Barnes scored after 2 minutes after an error from Leeds defender Robin Koch, and Vardy with 1 goal, Tielemans with 2 goals secured a thoroughly deserved win for Leicester.
This is extremely surprising for a club like Leeds. Leeds had been sticking every single match they've gone into. They've been sticking with that team, and they just got dominated this game.
Absolutely.
This is the first time for them, so they're gonna have to reevaluate and come back stronger next week. Let's talk about the last game of the week: Newcastle versus Everton.
This match was pretty it's not what I expected at all. I at least expected a draw because Everton, they did lose James. They have some injuries. They have some suspensions from like Richarlison, but like this team I think has got to do better. I mean, as well, you got to give credit to Newcastle. They made a low ton of signings this transfer market, and I think they're paying off so far.
And it's difficult I think with the loss of James Rodriguez. Everton's off the pace. What we were talking about early on in the season was how their attack was so strong and super fast paced, and now like it's very slow, and they were unable to score. Like Newcastle's goal was kind of an example. Their second goal was an example of kind of how Everton was playing early on.
Definitely.
A quick counterattack, nothing Everton can do.
Yeah, and it's good to see that link up between Ryan Fraser and Callum Wilson, two players who played for Bournemouth last season going into the same club, which is Newcastle now.
Able to get a transfer back and stay in the Premier League. They're
crazy.
They're proving why they should stay.
Yep, absolutely.
Let's look ahead to the games coming this Saturday and Sunday. Manchester United at Everton.
We have Liverpool at Manchester City. We have Aston Villa at Leicester, and Wolves.
Aston Villa at Arsenal.
Leicester. Oh, sorry. Aston Villa, Arsenal. Yep, and Wolves against Leicester.
Let's discuss these games.
These are going to be some nice games.
Manchester United at Everton. That's going to be a crazy game.
I expect it's going to be a bold statement, but I expect a draw because how Manchester United are playing right now, Everton are playing kind of sloppy as well.
I'm seeing a low-scoring game. I think maybe even a 0-0 draw. Both teams are extremely sloppy right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And just can't find form. Liverpool at Man City.
This is going to be, it's, you're talking about two of the top teams in England right now. And I think just due to the fact that Fabinho's injured, that Van Dijk's injured, I think I have to give this win to Manchester City. Just because they've been doing good, especially in the Champions League. I think Manchester City, I'm going to say 2-0.
Oh, I'm thinking with Liverpool's current form and their new front three with Diogo Jota playing at kind of filling in for Firmino, I think Liverpool will dominate.
Yeah.
2 goals from Jota, 2-0.
Maybe
Liverpool.
2-1 because Jota, I can definitely see him scoring. Or Salah or Mane. But I have to look back at the defensive line, back four. Just that one central, that center back. Who knows? Maybe we're going to stick in Reed Williams or Nathaniel Phillips. But, these players don't have quite as much experience as playing within in top they don't have experience playing in top 6 clubs. So I think that's just going to be a huge factor. So.
And then Aston Villa at Arsenal. Villa hasn't been in form. Arsenal's starting to play in form. I could see Arsenal.
I'm going to say Arsenal 3-1.
I
think
Aston Villa drop another one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drop down the table. Wolves at Leicester. Leicester's coming off probably their best game, maybe second best game of the season against Leeds, and now they're hosting Wolves.
I think definitely Leicester. I mean, it could be a close match, but I think Leicester did look more of the sharper team last weekend, so I am gonna say Leicester 2-1.
Okay, now let's discuss who is the strongest team in the Premier League.
The strongest team, I would say Liverpool, just because they're at the top of the table. They rebounded. They've been doing good. I mean, nothing you can say. I mean, there's no team right now who was like undefeated, who's been like on a complete 100 straight win run. There's like, I mean, every team has their ups and downs, and unfortunately for all the teams, they did show some like not great things. I mean, every team has their own but in terms of like best team right now, I would have to say Liverpool, the leaders.
I think Liverpool, they're finding their form despite they're finding ways to play without Van Dijk, and if they can continue to do that once Van Dijk comes back, it's over for everyone.
Definitely, yeah. All right.
We need to get to a break.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're gonna talk about Europe and then the Champions League.
And we are back on the soccer show on SleepyHollowRadio.com. I'm Kevin Aguirre, joined by Aidan Baller, and we are back to discuss the talk around Europe. So first off, with the Serie A, Cristiano Ronaldo is back from COVID-19, and he did help them win 4-1 with 2 goals against newly promoted Spezia. AC Milan and Zlatan Ibrahimovic continued dominance. So I could definitely see them win the league with their form.
It's insane that Zlatan at such an old age is able to dominate in Serie A still.
And it's not only him; it's the whole team. I think the
whole team's playing amazing.
Yeah,
and we're also Ronaldo back from COVID. It's exciting to see, and it's kind of showing like Ronaldo's impact at Juventus.
Definitely,
he's coming back and he's making sure that win is a easy, clean win.
Yeah, he did score. Ibra did score a bicycle kick against Udinese over the past weekend, and they did win 2-1. Now let's move on to La Liga, where Eden Hazard finally scores. This time it's a rocket against Huesca in a 4-1 victory for Real Madrid. I think that was a cool goal.
Exciting to see Hazard starting to come back to his old form, and that old form is scary.
Absolutely.
If he plays at the level he was playing at Chelsea, this Real Madrid team will not be stopped.
Yeah. And Real Sociedad continued to be in first place after a 4-1 away win against Celta Vigo. Barcelona continued to struggle, however, this time against Deportivo Alavés, where Piqué and Neto made a sloppy error, which allowed Luis Rioja from Deportivo Alavés to score.
And it's like, looking at Real Sociedad before we look at Barcelona.
Yeah.
David Silva comes in there.
And he scores his first goal for Real Sociedad.
Immediate impact.
Yep.
And now this team, they're looking good right now. Definitely a strong team, but it'll be interesting to see once they face Madrid or Barcelona how they can do.
Yeah, I mean, they're ready to put their squad to the test against top teams like those. Maybe even against Sevilla or like a Valencia squad, but we'll see.
And Barcelona, they're continuing to struggle, but I don't think it's time to panic if you're a Barcelona fan.
No, I think it's still a bit too early, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, they haven't been doing that well on the La Liga table, but yet again, they've had some. They don't have as many games compared to everyone else. Yeah, they only have 6. They currently place 12th in the league table. But it's not too.
It's early. They can find their form, get hot, and no one's stopping them once Messi's starting to play well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Bundesliga.
Muller and Gnabry both scored to give Bayern Munich a comfortable 2-1 win over Cologne. Borussia Dortmund defender Mats Hummels scores twice to give his side a win against newly promoted Arminia Bielefeld. Hannes Wolf scored against his former side to win the game for Borussia Mönchengladbach against RB Leipzig.
And Leipzig was playing so well, and now
They
lost.
that's crazy.
It's interesting to see, and
but they did lose against a Champions League team within
did.
Borussia Mönchengladbach. So
Borussia Mönchengladbach has been in great form.
definitely, and we'll speak about that later on. Ligue 1, PSG defeated Nantes 3-0, and Lille and Lyon shared a point as the game ended 1-1. So now we can discuss some Champions League results from last week, from Wednesday, where we had Juventus defeated at home against Barcelona 2-0. Manchester United destroyed RB Leipzig 5-0.
Let's start with these two games.
Yeah.
Juventus versus Barcelona. I mean, I think Juventus kind of went into this game, I think, as a team with not a lot of confidence.
I think, yeah, definitely it was a good game for Barcelona.
It seemed like Juventus was optimistic that they could have Ronaldo back in their squad. I think the fact of not having Ronaldo kind of just like their team just came out the gate just not strong, and Barcelona took advantage of that and was able to win.
Yeah, and Morata with a hat-trick of offside goals. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, I think he's had, like, so far in 2020, he's had more offside goals than goals. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but you think of, like, it's like if you have Ronaldo as striker rather than Morata, that's 3 goals, not 3 offside goals.
Definitely. And Manchester United against Leipzig, I think this is a dominant performance from Manchester United. I mean, they played very well.
Manchester United's form last week was impressive. Then they go Premier League, drop points.
Yeah, and Marcus Rashford scores, like, after coming off the bench in the 63rd minute. He scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. This is pretty impressive.
It's exciting to see this Manchester United, all these youngsters finally starting to find their form, kind of looking like the team they did last year.
Definitely.
Starting to score a lot more. Yeah. Let's move to our next Premier League team, Chelsea versus Krasnodar. 4-0 win. Just a dominant performance by them.
We had Edouard Mendy to do some saves.
He had some nice saves.
We had Havertz with an assist. Ziyech scores his first goal with Chelsea, and this is like Werner scored. Tammy Abraham. This is a comfortable win for
Pulisic. Gets his first goal, which is exciting to see for him, and it was an expected result.
I think, yeah, because Krasnodar, they are Champions League debutants, so their first participation in the Champions League, like they don't have that much experience. But Chelsea, they looked the stronger team.
They did.
Yeah.
Manchester City versus Marseille.
I mean, it's a 3-0 win for Manchester City. Nothing much to say. I mean, this was like an expected result. Marseille, they are struggling so far in the Champions League. So next up, Liverpool 2, Midtjylland 0. I think this is not. It hasn't been Liverpool's best performance so far, but I think they could have done better, especially with the Midtjylland squad who weren't looking as sharp, and Champions League debutants as well. I think they could have done more damage.
They could have, and let's just talk. I don't know if our listeners have been noticing this trend, but no team scored a goal against a Premier League squad.
Yeah,
absolute dominance.
This is crazy.
5-4, 5-0, 4-0, 3-0, 2-0. Impressive for them.
I think it's safe to say Premier League is the best league in the world. I mean, this is my opinion.
This is an interesting debate now.
Definitely. And then we're going to Dortmund 2-0 against Zenit. This was another comfortable win for Dortmund. You had Sancho score from the penalty spot, and you had Erling Haaland score in the 91st minute.
Haaland has been on fire.
He's been on fire, absolutely.
We can jump, he's been on fire. Now let's talk about Champions League from this week.
We've had Lokomotiv against Atletico Madrid 1-1. I mean, nothing new though. But I would have expected Atletico Madrid to win. However, Luis Suarez wasn't on form. We had Joao Felix.
We had that silly yellow card. Let's talk about Suarez.
Oh,
that's
hilarious.
He tries to peek at the VAR booth, and ref catches him. Yellow card.
This is like, you can't do this, man. Come on now.
Come on, Suarez, and especially Champions League. This is a yellow cards mean you miss games.
Yeah, definitely. This is very crucial. Yellow cards.
Silly mistake.
You'll have to pay for price for them. Next up, we have Shakhtar Donetsk 0, Borussia Mönchengladbach 6. We talked about this German side earlier today, but this team has been on fire. They've just netted 6 goals against a team who beat Real Madrid early on in this campaign.
Borussia Mönchengladbach, they could make the round of 16.
This is like, I mean, a lot of people look at the group H with Manchester United, Leipzig, PSG, and Istanbul and Başakşehir here. They look at that as the group of death, but I also think a possible second contender is Group B, because you have Gladbach, Shakhtar, Real Madrid, and Inter, all good teams.
And we expected Madrid and Inter to just dominate that group. And
yeah,
Borussia Mönchengladbach has looked the best team in the group right now.
It's not easy.
They're leading the group at the end of end of the first half.
That's crazy.
It's impressive for them.
Yeah, we had Alassane Plea, the Frenchman, scored a hat trick, 3 goals against Shakhtar, man of the match. Next up from Group B, we have Real Madrid against Inter. Real Madrid did win 3-2, and now we see Ramos, who scored his 100th goal for Real Madrid as a defender. That is crazy.
It's exciting to see for him, and I know he takes all the penalties, but still extremely excited for him.
Yeah, at some point, Inter did come back 2-2.
Inter made definitely a good game to see, but this game was overall Madrid's game to win, and
definitely
they come away with 3 points. They couldn't be happier about that result.
Yeah. Manchester City 3-0 against Olympiacos. Nothing much to say there. Once again, a dominant performance from Guardiola's men. Porto 3, Marseille 0. I think Marseille, they've just been absolute terrible from this.
We expected more from them, and they just haven't showed up.
I think just last season in the League One, they've been doing bits and bits. They managed to get second place. However, they're not showing how much quality their team possesses with like their performances in the Champions League.
And this game seems almost like a toss. This group seems like just Manchester City will dominate this group. They've destroyed every team in the group.
Yeah,
Just be the second place battle, and it seems like Porto's the other team that can play.
Yeah, Porto definitely can play. I think this is an underrated squad. Well, moving on to Midtjylland 1, Ajax 2. Goals from Anthony and Dusan Tadic seal the win for the Dutch squad.
Ajax, they had all those COVID-19 positive tests, and yet still with half their squad, they find ways to win.
Yeah, this team definitely, I mean, they can do anything. If they can do what they did in 2018-19, like reaching the semifinals, I mean,
Ajax is one of those teams that can make a run.
Definitely.
They can sneak up on you.
Yeah. Atalanta 0, Liverpool 5. This is arguably Liverpool's best performance so far this season in all competitions. Diogo Jota with the hat-trick. This man has been on fire for Liverpool. A brand new signing from Wolves. You know, I see him join Wolves, and join Liverpool, and I'm like, I don't know, could he score goals? I have my doubts, but not sure. I think Firmino is still going to be...
And also the other thing was finding a way into the lineup, and does he start over Roberto Firmino?
Especially with all the controversy that everyone's talking about with Firmino, I'm calling him overrated and all that. I think definitely Jurgen Klopp, Jota could replace Firmino in the starting 11. I mean, the way he's been performing.
Jota's much more electric.
Definitely. And yeah, if he gets injured, then we'll have Firmino. But I think he's been electric. This dominant performance from Liverpool, especially against an Atalanta squad who looked sharp last season.
I think talking about this group as a whole, I think this group is Liverpool will obviously advance.
Yeah.
I think this group comes down to that when Ajax plays Atalanta, if you want to move on, you have to make a statement. Yeah,
let's not forget they did tie Ajax and Atalanta. They did tie 2-2 last week with an Atalanta hat trick. I mean,
or even both at 4 points. Whoever wins that game will move on.
Definitely. Next up, Salzburg 2, Bayern Munich 6. I mean, not much to say. Bayern Munich were the dominant side. They had way more chances than Salzburg.
They came in there and they rolled Salzburg.
And the champions of Europe, they are demonstrating who they are and like how tough they can get. Mm-hmm. So Zenit 1, Lazio 1. I mean, Zenit were winning 1-0, and then Ecuadorian super sub Felipe Caicedo, big credits to him, comes in, and in the 81st minute he scores that tie for the tie 1-1. So next up, Fenerbahce 1, Juventus 4. Morata scores yet another brace in the Champions League. So big ups to him.
Morata's playing impressive football.
Yeah, I think it was a wise decision to join Juventus from Atletico Madrid.
His goal stock will slow down once Ronaldo fully establishes himself. But it's exciting to see this little run for him. kind of kept this team above water before like Ronaldo comes back and can truly continue their dominance. The club.
Next up, Chelsea 3, Rennes 0. This has been Timo Werner with the brace. Mendy, yet another clean sheet. These guys have been on fire.
Timo Werner's penalties. He's now replaced Jorginho as the penalty taker, and his 2 penalties were absolute rockets.
I agree, and I think maybe do you think we could see Jorginho ever take a penalty for Chelsea again? I mean,
if Timo Werner's not playing, I guess he'll be the person taking it, but Werner's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's been like, I would consider Jorginho sort of as losing his confidence with penalty taking.
After missing 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but Timo Werner, he knows how to take penalties. He's done it all year long last season.
In the Bundesliga.
With
and
Leipzig,
he rockets it. Just rockets it right in. And I think what's another thing that's really exciting about this Chelsea team is, like, for Tammy Abraham, he did it at the end of last season. He was struggling to score, struggling to get minutes. Yeah, and he wasn't playing, and his attitude wasn't good. But this season, he's been very positive. Whenever he's on the pitch, he's been working very hard. He was able to score a goal yesterday to make it 3-0, and it's
good to see
him.
It's good to see him turn things back around. I mean, big congrats to the whole Chelsea squad. Impressive win against Rennes. Next up, Club Brugge 0, Borussia Dortmund 3. We've had Erling Haaland with the brace, 2 goals, and Thorgan Hazard with 1. And
that Thorgan Hazard goal was amazing.
Yeah.
He just rocketed in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And Haaland's on fire.
On fire. I mean, as usual, this kid is a sensation.
He doesn't stop scoring.
Nope, not at all.
They got up to a quick lead really quick and overwhelmed Bruges. Some poor goalkeeping mistakes, but if you keep that ball in the box, Dortmund will rocket it in there.
Absolutely, yeah. Next up, Barcelona 2, Dinamo Kiev 1. This was, I think, regardless of a few goals, this was quite a match for the goalkeepers, for Ter Stegen.
Ter Stegen's back, and he's proven why. He's Barcelona's number 1. He was playing great. Yep,
6 saves for Ter Stegen, and man of the match has to be Ruslan Nescheret, the 18-year-old Ukrainian goalkeeper for Dinamo Kiev. This man was insane last night with 12 saves, 8 of those being diving saves. And I even remember he did stop a Messi free kick with a nice diving save.
He is ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. I mean, big credits to him.
14 shots on goal, and he's playing he kept his team in the game.
To leave the camp now as man of the match with that amount of saves, it's very, very impressive.
I'm happy for him. It's good for them. Good for them to have a little bright spot despite the loss.
Next up, Sevilla 3, Krasnodar 2. We've seen Krasnodar go up 2-0 in the 21st minute, but goals by Ivan Rakitic and 2 goals by Youssef and Nisiri completes the comeback, and Sevilla do get all 3 points. In the end,
it was the expected result. Just wasn't the way Sevilla wanted to get there.
Definitely, and it's the huge gap like between Sevilla second place in the group and Krasnodar. A gap of 6 points. So I think Chelsea, Sevilla comfortable. They definitely have to go.
They'll battle for that 1 seed.
Yeah. Next up, Istanbul. Istanbul Başakşehir 2-1 against Manchester United. This was crazy. I don't think anyone
expected this.
Yeah.
Manchester United just didn't look in form, and they took advantage of that. 2 goals early.
Yeah.
And it was hard for them to come back.
Yep. Demba Ba, the 35-year-old, he's scored against Manchester United after 9 years. Last time he did was back when he was with Newcastle United. And I gotta say, that goal from Demba Ba, it kind of reminded me of the one he scored against Liverpool where Gerrard slipped. I mean, because he came from the halfway line, he went running, and he just slipped the goal past.
Slipped him right past
Henderson. I mean...
And Henderson, that was his debut.
That was his debut.
I think we have to talk about that game. We can't put it on Henderson. It wasn't his fault. It was the defense.
Definitely. I mean, you can't blame just the goalkeeper. He had made no errors.
Their defense was wide open.
Yeah. I mean, I
don't know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was thinking. I mean, that defense needs a lot of work.
Yeah. This, I think, I'm not sure, but from against their game against PSG, they've played with a back 5 with Telles, Luke Shaw, Lindelof, Tuanzebe, and Wan-Bissaka. I think maybe I'm not sure, this sounds again biased, but maybe the addition of Harry Maguire, it just shapes. It's not like as strong as it was before with the other games against Leipzig and with PSG.
They're inconsistent, and it's not good for them.
Yeah, but big credits to Istanbul Başakşehir here for winning 2-1.
It's exciting for them. And the final game, Leipzig get the upset over PSG.
This is what I call sweet, sweet revenge for Leipzig. I mean, we do know what happened last year with PSG and Leipzig in the
semifinal.
Yep, they won 3-0, and now Leipzig are glad they've finally beat PSG. So
I think it just highlights Thiago Silva's departure.
Yeah,
Thiago Silva came in there. He was the captain. He made that defense, and that team kind of just united around him.
Absolutely.
And now he's gone. The defense is shaky, and the attack just can't win them the games.
Yep. We had Christopher Nkunku for Leipzig, who scored against his former club, who we spent 9 years at PSG developing. I mean, this is crazy. And he did celebrate, which is crazy.
It's exciting for them.
Yeah.
Exciting to see. It was a good Champions League week.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back to review the U.S. men's and women's national team. And we are back on the soccer show on sleepyhollowradio.com. Now we're going to talk about which league in the world is the strongest. So let me ask you, Aidan, which league is the strongest?
I think this award has to go to the Premier League. The Premier League has looked, especially last week in the Champions League, extremely dominant. They didn't concede a goal last week. This week there were some bumps, especially for Manchester United, but they are the most dominant league in the world.
I think, in terms of being dominant, a league has to be competitive as well. And for the Premier League, it's always been competitive all these years. Like, you have 6 contenders to win the Premier League every single year. This is like crazy. But when you see leagues like the French league, you automatically know, okay, PSG is going to win. No doubt. Germany, Bayern Munich's to win, no doubt. Spain, Barcelona or Real Madrid. Italy, Juventus, obviously. But this is a league where anything can happen. Any upsets are possible. Relegation scraps. Any team can get relegated. I mean,
and it's the whole thing with the Premier League is how it's such a physical league.
Absolutely.
Like when players transition to the Premier League, people are always so concerned because the physicality of the league is so much different, and you have to be able to play at that level.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna go to the U.S. men's and women's national team in review. We're gonna start off with Christian Pulisic, who scored his first goal of the season in the Champions League against Krasnodar. He suffered an injury in warm-ups against Burnley. He was monitored closely by Frank Lampard, and he said it was not that serious. He should be ready for Sheffield United.
And then next up, Josh Sargent scores his first goal of the season for Bremen in a 1-1 draw versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Exciting for him to see. Yeah. He's starting to look like this American striker.
Yeah. Happy to see him score goals. Yep, always. Weston McKennie gets an assist to Alvaro Morata in their 4-1 against Spezia.
And that goal, I don't know if you saw it, he just teed it right off. McKennie could have scored that goal, but it was such an unselfish play just give it to Morata, for Morata just smack it home, an easy goal.
All right, Richie Ledzema gets an assist in his PSV debut. Sam Mewis scores, and Rose Lavelle contributes to a 3-1 win in the FA Cup for Manchester City's women's squad against Everton. Serginho Dest gets his start in the Champions League against Dinamo Kiev. Yunus Musa becomes the youngest American-born player to score a goal in La Liga over this weekend. And this time it's going to be for Valencia. He's only 17, which is crazy.
Now, it's perfect transition to our next one. He's been called up, and a lot of people are getting called up.
Yep. They have a game against Wales.
The November camp with games against Wales on the 12th, which is next Thursday, and a game against Panama.
And so we'll go for goalkeepers first. Ethan Horvath, Chuturo Gonzu, Zach Steffen, all called up.
All strong goalkeepers for them.
Yeah. In terms of defenders, we have John Brooks, Reggie Cannon, Serginho Dest, Matt Miazga, Tim Ream, Chris Richards, and Anthony Robinson from Fulham. Midfielders will consist of Tyler Adams, Johnny Cardoso, Richard Ledzema, Weston McKennie, Yunus Musa.
Only 17.
Yeah, crazy. And Owen Otosawi. And forwards, another 17-year-old Gio Reyna from Borussia Dortmund gets his first call-up to the American squad. And Conrad de la Fuente, Nicolas Gaiocchini, Uli Yanez, Christian Pulisic, Josh Sargent, Sebastian Soto, and Tim Weah all join.
Let's just talk about how this team will line up, especially in the front. I'll be curious what formation they're thinking of doing.
I mean, I think just a typical 4-3-3 would be good enough.
Pulisic has to be on that left side.
Yeah, he needs more practice with that. I think
he's dominant. If you put him on the left, he will attack. Is Sargent the striker?
Sargent could be. We could have Tim Weah as well, but I think
Sargent's look dominant.
I think if they put Pulisic in the left wing spot, they could probably bench Gio Reyna. I think he will have to be benched for his first game in United States colors. So Gio Reyna would be benched
because it's definitely possible to have Pulisic at the left, Sargent in the middle, and then maybe Conrad de la Fuente on the right side.
Yeah, I think maybe even like a 3-4-3 where you have two wing backs behind the wingers. I think maybe even putting Gio Reyna behind Christian Pulisic would work.
Mm-hmm. And then Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie, obviously.
Yeah, strong midfield there. And for the three defenders in the back, I would go for John Brooks, Tim Ream, maybe Matt Miazga. I mean, Serginho Dest could play
on the right side.
On the right, yeah. Or maybe instead of putting Gio Reyna, you can put Anthony Robinson from Fulham, who's been he's had a nice game last week against West Brom, and I think maybe Anthony Robinson, but we'll have to see how they will line up.
It'll be exciting to see this. There's been so much excitement around Europe about how the U.S. men's team has integrated their way into Europe's top 5 leagues and not only gone into there, but dominated.
It's crazy. No, it's absolutely crazy.
And
I mean, this team looks pretty brand new compared to the one we had a few years ago, which failed to qualify for the World Cup. And I really hope that this team full of youngsters, they can do their best and they can help us qualify
This is the first test for America.
Yeah.
We'll truly see how this team plays. I mean, I think it may be a little difficult for this team to fully mesh, but big test against Wales.
Absolutely, this Wales team. Yep.
This almost revenge on Panama.
Yeah. I mean, after the devastated game that happened last couple years ago, but hopefully, like I said, this is the team that brings the U.S. back into the World Cup for 2022 in Qatar. I think. Well,
probably one of the most electric teams. It seems like just there's so much talent surrounding this team.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to be stopped.
All right, so we were supposed to have a caller segment, but
unfortunately he cannot make it today, so that is going to conclude our show.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in on the soccer show at sleepyhollowradio.com. Once again, this is Kevin Aguirre along with Aidan Baller. This has been the soccer show. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
He's a genius. He can do special things with the football.
Ball still in there. Pulisic! Hat-trick!
This one drops in. And forget it.
¡Golazo! ¡Golazo!